Hello everybody, and welcome back. I am Waylon the Indoor Farmer, as you can see, and this is episode 16. It's a very exciting episode, but also a very crazy time for me. As you may notice, I didn't even get a chance to shave. I barely got a chance to get on because my boy, my son, he's in the hospital, so I'm going to have to get back over there here shortly. He has a rhinovirus, which is something he's had before. So, hopefully he gets well. I mean, very soon, because last time he was in the hospital for 8 days. So, anyway, enough about that. You still get me in my shining face, but it's a little more lumberjacky, a little more Wolfman Jack maybe. But on with the show. So, you may have watched last week's episode. I am moving soon, and man, don't even know how exciting that is for the prospects of expansion and, creating more systems that are doing more things, growing more things, the whole shebang. This first video here, or the first clip here, is any minute here, you'll see me come up and bring you, so this is my 20-gallon tank that I have shown before because a neighbor gave that to me. Thanks, Cammie. But the thing of it is, I don't want to start setting up any kind of system like I talked about last week until I move and I have more permanent setting. It would make no sense. But I just wanted to show off real quick what my plan is. I have a second grow bed here that goes onto a 10-gallon tank. I think I explained it early in the series, probably first couple episodes, but it's like God was shining down on me. He's pushing me to do this. He's on the back of my head, sort of giving me this this calling, this little push, this little ambition that I'm having to do something great. But that's besides what happened here. I ordered the system that you see that goes on top of the 10-gallon with the rack, with the light. It came with the pump and all the pebbles inside here. And I ordered it, but it was supposed to come with the 10-gallon tank. It did not come with the tank. And so then I got on and I went through the thing and I complained and I said it wasn't here. And so what did they do? They said, okay, no problem. We'll send you another tank. And they sent me another kit with no tank. But this house that I live in right now, until I move, happened to have 4 10-gallon fish tanks in the house when I moved here, which was crazy because I thought, well, I'll use these at some point. And then here we go. I was given 2 kits instead of a tank and a kit. And now I have this extra kit. One of my early episodes, I had to transplant everything. I started the new kit because there was some issues with the original setup that I had, and this pump here wasn't working. I thought it was broken, but I actually took it apart and cleaned it out a little bit. And I mean, it sounds a little funny, so I don't know if it's going to work great, but it does work now. At least it runs. But this is just a little idea I had, because this 20-gallon tank is a little bit too big for it. You can see right here the edges of where the 10-gallon tank would have gone. But my idea is that I could find something to prop it up that shouldn't be too hard, actually. But the thing is, you don't want it to sit right on the fish tank, because the weight of that, over time is gonna cause issues. It could break. I mean, it's just not a good, idea to even tempt it. So what I did was here, I just sort of showing you lined up. I mean, they're still a good 3 or 4 inches from the floor, maybe less. But yeah, so I'm gonna have to find something else. But I feel like I could make this work. Maybe some wood between the trough and the stand. But yeah, I think that will end up working. Just have to get it going. So here's a little video of what I call Runty, the little one, and Eager Beaver over here. They were, they were born at the same time. They were, grown or sprouted at it's close to the same time. But yeah, it's funny the difference in the size. Yeah, here I just decided to go ahead and clean up this 10-gallon. I'm gonna have to end up taking everything out of it. But what's cool is the lettuce is turning to seed, which I'll show some closer pictures of that soon. Which means that maybe I can take all those seeds, and then once I clear out the system, I move next month, then I'll have fresh seeds and start growing all over again. And I saw somewhere on one of my Facebook groups that somebody uses this 10-gallon setup more for just for sprouting seeds. So you could actually put them into the rocks and then put a dome over top of that to help hold in the heat and the moisture. And then I could find a way to lower this light down a little bit, and this could be my seed starting area, which I think would be a good idea. Yeah, so I had to finally give up on that little piece of spinach that seemed like it will it, won't it. It started to grow, it started to regrow after it started dying. So I had to just give up on it. I had to throw away this basil here that looked like it was going to be fine for a while. I actually moved it over to the bigger side, and that could be the problem. Yeah, see, it just died. I just plucked that leaf right off by touching it. So anyway, those things are all not a big deal. I mean, I'm going to have to start winding it down. I only have about a month before I have to actually transport everything. I'm going to have to decide the best way or figure the best way of transporting the fish and the tanks. I don't want to transport the 55-gallon tank with any water in it. It's already heavy enough. I might just, maybe I should transfer all of them to the 20-gallon tank, both the 3 guppies in this 10-gallon tank, and then all my fish in the 55-gallon tank. It's might not be the most ideal, but it's a little more space than, say, shoving them all in the 10-gallon and maybe bagging them all up separately. I don't know if that's going to be feasible. I mean, I haven't really looked it up, I mean, I'm gonna figure that out when the time comes. I have a lot of packing to do and a lot of other things to do, so it's not that big a deal, but it is something to think about. And it's not that far of a trip. So if I had to, actually cap the top with like a garbage bag, maybe over the 20-gallon, and just take that with me in my car, like duct tape it on or something like that, because there'll be, a good space of oxygen inside there, and with the water sloshing around, I'm sure it'll be fine. At least, I'm guessing. I think it's only about a 25-minute drive to the new place. So that's good. But yeah, you can see here, I'm going to have to come up with a little system or a little setup in my new house to clean these old pebbles. I mean, maybe people throw them away. I don't know. I feel like it would be smart to find a way to clean all that off, and maybe you can use the water somehow. Maybe you clean it off into a barrel that you're using for the filter. Like, say, on a much larger system, you'll have multiple connecting pieces, and one of those pieces would be like a large filter, and a lot of times that's just a big barrel with a filter. What do they call it? It's looks like packing peanuts, or these pebbles, or there's a bunch of different materials that you can put in there that are just to absorb and to restrict any solids or anything, any material that's coming through the system from going any further. And that's usually where all your microbial bacteria is going to grow. Some people use like sponges and other things like that. So once I get a spot like that, maybe that's a good spot to wash these out, because I don't know that it's bad what all this plant material, the rotted roots. I mean, you don't want rot, you don't want mold, but doesn't all this stuff break down? Isn't it stuff that would break down if you're using it in dirt? I mean, Or maybe that's what I'll do. I'll rinse it out into a compost tea somewhere, something like that, because maybe it needs to break down more, under the surface or away from water. I don't know. So we'll figure it out. I mean, I feel like that could be, I wouldn't necessarily call it a byproduct, but I'm sure this whole tub here is pretty full of just nastiness. I mean, but that could be good stuff, I don't think it's bad. I mean, there's not a lot of mold going on. Probably some algae. I don't think algae is going to hurt anything. A lot of people try to remove algae. I mean, algae is going to cause some things. It's a little bit of an annoyance in some ways. Sometimes it's something you need to clean up. So a lot of little maintenance things that I have to get used to here, because I'm coming up to, oh man, I'd have to look it up, but I mean, it's been at least 6 to 8 months that I've been using this system here without emptying the water out. I mean, I'm constantly adding new water as it uses that water up here. No, I'm not playing around here. I'm just trying to get these pebbles to sort of stay without floating up. This bed over here, I actually put too much water and not enough pebbles, and so you'll have this. I could actually just sink my hand down into it, which I don't like. The other side is actually a lot more packed, but it's almost too packed because it's hard to get things down into it. So there must be a medium ground somewhere. Yeah, I'm just going to leave that one lettuce there that's got all the seeds going. I don't need lettuce at the moment, but I was hoping that lettuce would keep growing. I eat it when it gets mature, but right now all I have is basil and mustard leaf that I could eat. I don't know. I don't have a lot of recipes looked up, but they're the things that I've tried to grow, and they are ready to do something with them. I mean, I'll find something. I like mustard. Maybe I'll try to make like a homemade sauce or mustard, some kind of a condiment with it. I don't know. I'm sure there's a whole bunch of recipes on Pinterest or somewhere. Speaking of Pinterest, if you haven't yet, please subscribe to my YouTube channel or anywhere that you'll find me. Rumble.com, Locals.com, Minds.com. I'm on Vimeo now. I do have an Instagram, The Indoor Farmer, anywhere that stuff is. But yeah, throw me a subscribe, throw me a like, share. It really helps me, grow my reach and try to get some feedback from people who are actually in the community and know more about aquaponics, and try to sort of grow this community of people who realize that growing your own food and learning how to be self-sustainable is more and more and more and more and more important. It's never going to get less important, I feel like. Obviously I'm such a early on in that race, I guess. I'm not anywhere close to being self-sufficient, but I want to crawl before I run. I think I wouldn't say mastered, but I've mastered this one lettuce that that I've been growing. I mean, that's the only thing that I could say was a success. I mean, I did grow mint, which I had no real use for. I just thought it would be a smell, deterrent for this area, maybe help it be a little bit nicer. But it actually, the roots go crazy on that. I had a whole episode where I showed you what happened there. But it's a good lesson. I don't think I want to grow in such a small bed anything that will go crazy with the roots and just absorb all the nutrients, because you're not outside. This is different. So you have a finite amount of nutrients that's being put in the system and that you're getting out. So that is one of the big things. Let me pause this here. Yeah, these are those seeds. Yeah, that's one of the big things about aquaponics, is that you have to dial in the system. It all has to be a sort of a you've heard a temperature controlled room, but this is more of a ecosystem control. You have the whole circle of life all within that ecosystem. but there's not a whole lot of nutrients going into that 10-gallon tank. So the more things I'm adding to it, and the more stuff I try to do with it, it wasn't going to hold all that pressure, I guess. Pressure is a good word for it. Yeah, I tried to pull one of these seeds out, but I guess they're not quite ready. They're not like falling out. Sort of imagine a dried sunflower or something where the seeds pop out. I've never seen anything go to seed, so this is my first thing like that. So I'm excited because I did like the lettuce, and I wouldn't mind having fresh seeds for it. Why not? This is just a quick little, showing you guys the main grow area, and you can see all that mustard leaf. There's a little close-up of the pretty seeds. It's like a dandelion, except lettuce. Black-seeded Simpsons. There's more yellow flowers. I'm so proud. My baby's growing up. Growing up. It really went crazy with the seeds, too. Like, it didn't just go, like, to the little tip of the end that I had been cutting everything off of. It just went, like, everywhere. Pretty crazy. So this is Runty. You guys saw a little clip of him earlier, but this is sort of the story of Runty as he has developed. A little slideshow of how things have gone for him. The little tips of his main regular leaves here were yellow. It's kind of funny because I feel like it almost didn't sprout. This was almost the plant that didn't. Yeah, you can see it's getting up there, getting a little bigger, but it's not like Eager Beaver over here. I mean, old EB, she's getting up there. I mean, it's funny though because she's kind of hasn't grown. I feel like it's the same size. She's been the same size for a few days. It's interesting. No, it's not a purple plant. It's just in purple light. So don't get too excited, folks out there. I mean, I'm hoping it's good stuff, but we'll see. I mean, potent medicine. Potent. Omnipotent medicine, hopefully. Yeah, so I tried to do my best to do sort of a, step-by-step little slideshow of the awakening of Runty over here. I didn't do it singularly. I should probably have, but maybe next time. Make it a faster one. Maybe put some louder music behind it, and really just do this sort of a time lapse of its growth. Be kind of cool. Maybe one day. Maybe once I move, once I get settled in, which could be, I don't know, months from now. I'm going to really work hard on it, guys. I really am. I have the time. I need to get it done. I got the space. I mean, so once I move, you'll start seeing me set up more and more systems, bigger systems. But I think I'm going to try, like I've said before, I'm going to try and keep the systems that I've already got going and, keep them separate. Maybe use that one for seeding. Maybe use that one for leafy greens only, and move on and do other things. Because I want a bigger grow bed for, say, fruiting plants. I'd love to grow, cucumber would be interesting indoors. My son loves those. But, speaking of him, I got to get back over to the hospital, guys. So thanks for watching, and I really appreciate it. I'm going to really amp this up here shortly. I got 1 month before I move. So, it blows my mind that all the things I want to do all at the same time, all the things I'll need to get done all at the same time. But it's in a good way. I'm excited. I know it's first world problems as long as the first world continues. So I will come back next week with another little update. Thanks.